Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. Thank you for being here. Good to see everybody in the chat. Interesting, nobody from the East Coast today. I wonder what's up with that. Welcome. If you're new here, thanks for joining. Start your question with the letter Q. If you have a question, it makes it easier to see on my screen here. Otherwise, we're going to just start chatting about stuff. I don't really have a plan today. I have a lot of other things in my mind lately, so we will see how this goes. Been some exciting house progress this week, so that's good. But I see TVJ in the chat. Hello, it's been a long time since I could join live. Good to have you back. Thanks for joining. And the Michael says, don't forget to like the stream. Aaron needs help paying the Ubiquity bill. It's true. I just put in a huge order for a bunch of networking gear for the house. I decided to start wiring up the network room even before we have power because I can't wait any longer and it's exciting. And yeah, so a bunch of switches and a couple extra cameras that I'm going to string up before we have power in the house. I'm going to do PoE to the network closet from here and then power the cameras from there. So then I can see the front yard. Anyway, James has an actual question. This is great. I'm a video professional with years of live streaming experience. I've just purchased a 2ME constellation for corporate work. How would I best be promoting this to end clients as well as AV companies? I am terrible at promotion and advertising, so I don't have a lot of good advice. But I can tell you how I've done this, which is mainly word of mouth. Started with doing some filming conferences that were from either organized by friends or at the company I worked for, not charging for those, and getting some experience putting that up on a website, and then eventually started expanding that network of like, oh, you know, this person who I know who runs a conference heard that I did this before, and then they asked me to do it for their event, and then I started charging for it. And then it's just word of mouth. Like once you get into one of these niches, like industry niches, the conference organizers all talk to each other, so they will start spreading it around. That is how I have gotten the conference recording work that I've done. Matt has a very good point. Promote what it can do for the client rather than just its specs. Yeah, absolutely. The clients are not going to care about what the gear is. They just want the end result. So they want to know that you can deliver it quickly, deliver the recording quickly, or you could do live streaming, or they want to know that you can also run the projector. They do not care what gear you have. Oh, Gwen has a good tip. Zephin has a bunch of videos on the business and promoting side of things. Oh, great point. Let me drop his channel link in the chat. He could use some more subscribers too. So there you go. That is his channel. His channel tagline is "Learn live streaming in the business of videography." Also does a bunch of gear reviews, of course. Hopefully that gets you off in the right direction. Thanks for the question. Andre says, I had this wild idea of connecting an Elgato prompter to the Director Mini as the prompter looks for display link for the USB. I wonder if Android switchers would support that. I don't know. That's an interesting question. That is interesting. And my prompter is packed away somewhere right now. I can't really grab it to test. Interesting idea. I'm not sure. Gwen says, if you didn't hear, Blackmagic Camera app supports remote monitoring control of Pixis as of a few days ago. Not their Blackmagic cameras yet. Interesting. I don't know what. I have never used a Pixis camera. That sounds really interesting. Matt says, I'm having a discussion with a fellow Ultra who wants companion compatibility. I said they can't because it's Android. He says that doesn't matter. Who's right? Oh, so I did actually look into this for YoloLive. So the YoloBox Ultra is built on the Android operating system. So it is a computer running. It's got a CPU. It's running Android. So I did some digging and I found a OSC library for Java. Java OSC library, which would be the way I would recommend doing it. OSC server. So OSC is a generic protocol. Mixeffect actually implemented this on iOS. And if you look at the docs for Mixeffect, there is a whole section about OSC. And essentially what this is Companion can send OSC commands, and they look like, let's see, what's a good example? They look like this, essentially. It'll be like /something/something, and there sometimes are numbers you can add after them, like, let's see, what's a good example? Maybe color. Yeah, so you can like add integers or float numbers after these print messages. But essentially, what you do in Companion is you would, do I have an OSC connected? I do. So, oh yeah, it was from Mixeffect. So you would create a generic OSC connection rather than something specific for the device. And then you can just type those slash commands into buttons. So if I go make a button for OSC test, I would look for OSC. Oh, mix effect is what it's called. So I can send a string, for example, and I would type in the OSC path and the value, and that way I can. It's like, it's not built for mix effect. The companion module is not built for mix effect, but you can do anything. If you can get an OSC server on one end, you can get companion to send OSC commands to that. So, all that said, I was looking for, is there a Java library for OSC so that they could build it into the YoloBox, and there is one. This looks decent. So basically, the YoloLive developers would need to go pull in an OSC library to build an OSC server into the YoloBox. But it absolutely is doable in the Android operating system. What is this demonstrating? Yeah, so the end goal of this is, if you're not familiar with Companion, Companion is very cool software for controlling all sorts of different devices that are part of your live stream gear. So basically everything in here is controlled through Companion, which is software on the computer, but there are then buttons that get put into buttons on the actual Stream Deck in front of me, which is here. So I'm using these buttons to control the show, and including this PTZ page for this PTZ camera, which is also controllable through Companion. And this is the main page of buttons that I use for the show. So this is, I can do camera switching, I can do stingers, I can turn on and off my microphone, I can say, don't forget to like this stream, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the bell. And all sorts of stuff in here that controls the Atem, the HyperDecks, the PTZ cameras, whatever it is. So this is why I like Companion, because you can pull in, you can make buttons that do things across all of your devices without having to go and fiddle with each individual device. And this is why I'm sad that the YoloBox doesn't support Companion yet, because I can't really put the YoloBox in here in a way that is sustainable, because you have to use the touchscreen, except now they at least have their own button pad that looks a lot like a Stream Deck. However, it's just for the YoloBox. It connects directly and it doesn't work with everything else. So yes, I would love to see the YoloBox add actual Companion support, or at the very least OSC, so I can just make Companion buttons myself. I need a few more mic cases on my desk. Oh yeah, so I was filming yesterday. I was filming a video about the. Oh, this camera is really overexposed. I was filming a video about the new DJI Mini mic. They sent this to me back in October, and I feel really bad that I haven't finished the video yet. Just got really carried away with other things going on. But I finally filmed it yesterday, and so I was comparing it to the so here's the kit with two of them. I was comparing it to the DJI Mic 2 and the original DJI Mic kit, which I still like this case a lot. This is just a really nice, it's just a good size. I like it a lot. And then I have the little action cameras here because they paired. Now these pair directly with the cameras, Action 4 and Action 5. The Action 5 can support 2 mics, which is super cool. Also the Pocket 3, so I had all my DJI gear out, except the mini drone. But yeah, so that was the video I was working on yesterday, and that is why they're all out on the desk. Let me get this camera a little bit less hot. There we go. Andre says, by the way, I took the plunge also for a PTZ AV matrix. Judging by your use case, I will start playing with Companion sometime in January to control it. Cool, nice. Yeah, it's been fun to have this here. Question from AH377: how much delay would there be on a USB to HDMI, UVC device to A2, HDMI to SDI, and then SDI to HDMI into the Atem Mini Pro? Essentially, the HDMI to SDI and SDI to HDMI conversions will add very, very little, like a frame, probably at worst. And the UVC to HDMI is going to add all the delay. So it's going to be like, it could be half a second. It's going to totally depend on the device you're using. But that's where all the delay is going to get added. Generally, hopping from HDMI to SDI and back is going to be very, very minimal. Just a frame or two. Captain Media says, now I have a PTZ Canon CRN 300 for a remote joystick. Is there a cheap alternative to the Canon RCIP 100, which is $26.99 Canadian? Generally, yes. So the most of the PTZ cameras are going to support the Visca protocol. So you can usually find a PTZ controller that supports Visca also for cheaper. Actually, speaking of, this is on its way now, but the camera that I have from AV Cans, they sent this one over a couple weeks ago. They now are also sending over their PTZ controller for it, which should work with other cameras as well. So yeah, and so yeah, there should be lots of options. Clear Life Mini says, have you ever used Screen Deck? I saw a video on YouTube last night. I've never heard of it. What is Screen Deck? That is not searchable. Screen Deck is just giving me videos of people building screened decks. Oh, a virtual on-screen stream deck. Screen deck for Companion. Interesting. No, I haven't heard of that. I usually don't like to use, the whole point for me with for Companion is that I have physical buttons, not computer buttons. So I very rarely actually want to use the buttons from a computer. It's really just in very rare situations. Bert says, I'm a one-man show currently using Studio, wanting to go a different route, wondering about Atem Constellation 2 with cameras. Is it better to use PTZs or other cameras? Well, it depends on what you're doing. What I will say is that it's a lot cheaper to get not PTZs that look good. And if you want to get PTZs that look equivalent to much more affordable non-PTZ cameras, you're going to spend a lot more money. So like this one that I have here from AV Cans, this is only like $300 or $350, which is a very affordable PTZ camera. However, the quality of it is nowhere near the quality of this camera, for example, or even like the ones I was using, the Lumix G7s, which you can find for like $500, usually used. So $500 for the body, and then you're gonna have to get a lens. But the lens, this is the thing, is like you can get a good lens, and the lenses that you're going to get for the mirrorless cameras are going to give you a much better picture than the built-in lens on PTZ cameras. Like, I think this, for the price, this PTZ camera is fine. And like here I'll show you some other stuff around the studio. Like, it's fine, but it's not as good as the it's nowhere near as good as the these cameras. So If you need PTZs, like there's a lot of good reasons to get PTZs. Just be willing to spend a lot more if you want the quality to be on par with the other cameras. Image by Steve says, I would like to use my Atem Mini Pro to send video to my Google Meet. Will this be found via Ethernet connection, or does Atem have to be connected to the PC directly? So the Atem Mini Pro does need to be connected over USB to be used as a webcam into the PC. If you really want to do it over Ethernet, there are weird roundabout ways you can do it, but it's not meant to do that. So yeah, it is. Actually, it probably wouldn't even work well because of the delay. So yeah, USB is really the only option there. Gwen says, social, you did a quick video on the Blackmagic camera update. I think it came out yesterday. Oh, nice. Good move from them. Cool. Okay. Questions are not rolling in as fast today, so I'm gonna have to come up with something to talk about. Oh, here's a question from Safid. I planned to buy a YoloBox Ultra. Is Speedify working fine in the YoloBox Ultra? I haven't actually tried that in a while, because it was like a weird sideloading trick to make it work, and I haven't actually tried that in a while. I'm not sure if it currently still is possible. Has anybody tried that recently on a YoloBox? Let me know in the chat. Alonso says there's a new and affordable Micro Four Thirds from Panasonic, the G97. Affordable and looks promising, although there is no PD autofocus. I did remember seeing that Panasonic G97. Lumix G97. It is on B&H. It has with their kit lens. It is $850. That's not bad. It looks like it's about the same size as the G7. So, and I also don't mind not having autofocus on cameras that are used in like a fixed studio situation anyway. So that could be a good option. Screen Deck works as an on-screen satellite stream deck. It's an Electron app. Interesting. Okay. I haven't yeah, I don't know if I would really need that for anything, but that's cool. Chad says, have you tried the new version of LiveView Studio? Any good? I have not. I didn't even know there was a new version. I've not been keeping tabs on that. Alonzo says Speedify does not work on the Ultra because you can use YoloLive's bonding feature. Okay, that's right. Yeah, they do have their own bonding feature, which actually works really well. I was surprised. So you can just use that. You'd have to. It's. I think it's more expensive than Speedify, but it did work really well. Stream Deck XL is on a great sale on B&H today. Ooh, is it? Good tip. Let me grab a link for that. Is that... Here's a link. Stream Deck XL. That is in the chat. What is the deal on B&H? $60 off is a good discount. Last minute savings until Tuesday. That is a pretty good deal. I don't think I need any more, unfortunately. Captain Media says, could a PTZ with a joystick replace a cameraman in the stand for following a hockey game? I think an actual person controlling a camera will do a better job, just because it's so much faster to use your hands to physically control a camera compared to a joystick, which will be limited in terms of how much control you get and how fast you can whip around. You can probably get away with it for some things, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't count on doing the close-up shots with a PTZ. I don't know. Gwen says, I often switch between manual and auto even for live uncontrolled events. I hate when autofocus hunts if it can't find the subject. Yeah, that's the thing, is the autofocus, it can just do wrong things, and it's really bad when it's in a live event, in my opinion. You can never have enough stream decks. Michael says, for bonding, Speedify now officially supports OpenWRT. It opens up a lot of GL-iNet and other portable router options. There's been unofficial solutions, but this is a nice move forward. That is a really good point. That's really cool. That's great to see. Matt says, I have 4 stream decks. How many does one person need? I have 2 right here, but I'm not really using the second one. It's mostly just for testing. It's plugged into my computer rather than companion. The main one I have here is, this is the companion one, and this one I was testing out the companion buttons for the RØDECaster video. And I need to finish that project today because Lily is going live on Tuesday from the RØDECaster video, which I need to finish making the buttons. Speaking of, a question here. Have I been using the RØDECaster video, and does it have any issues? I've done tests with it, but I haven't done any of my actual live streams, which I still need to do. I might have time for it, maybe not this week, just a lot of stuff going on, but possibly next week. But yeah, as long as you're familiar, as long as you're aware of the limitations of it, I haven't had any issues with the features that it has. There are some limits in terms of what different combinations of things you can do, and but yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's really great. And on Tuesday I will be actually using it for Lily's show, so put it to the test again. I did use it for a conference, like an actual paid gig, and it worked, so that was nice. John says, 1 stream deck for live, 1 for editing, and 1 for the espresso machine and beer robot. Michael says, I recently added the Stream Deck Mini to my setup and gave it to a commentator for select functions, and he loved it. That's a great use case. Yeah. Giving people a few specific buttons. Yeah. Where I might use Screen Deck is when traveling and not wanting to try to safely pack 3 to 4 Stream Deck XL since they don't make affordable cases for them. Yeah. That makes sense. I still don't like having to use a mouse to press buttons, though. Oh, tips on the PTZ question for the hockey game. PTZ is only good for set shots, not follow shots. That is what I would assume. I don't think you could successfully chase somebody with a PTZ camera. But if you want a couple different set shots, then you can use it. John says, no reason to use PTZ if it's too much movement to handle when you're switching. This is where you need to find an intern. Yeah. Oh, this is a good question. I don't know the answer to. If anybody has any tips in the chat, drop some ideas in here. Are there any good PTZ suitable for outdoor sports? Thinking about water resistance and auto tracking. I've never even considered water resistance as a feature on cameras. Okay, more questions coming in. Great. Canon has some outdoor PTZs extra expensive. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. Okay, Renee says, on the OC GoStream Duet, is it possible to overlay a super source with a picture frame title page podcast use? You could use a downstream key to do the title page. You should be able to do that. Yeah. Circuit Baker says, I saw the other day that the ZowieBox supports UVC to NDI. Have you tested this feature? I don't think I tested that particular combination of things. UVC to NDI. I did at one point test the UVC feature outputting over HDMI, but it also does NDI, so that makes sense. It's a really cool little box. This is, maybe I should get it out and play with it a little bit. It is surprisingly capable for how small it is. Do I have it handy? What is its power supply situation? Oh yeah, USB-C, which is also nice. This little thing can do an awful lot of stuff. It has NDI, it has UVC, it has all the streaming protocols. I'll drop a link in the chat. Yeah, it's a cool little box. Maybe I can connect it up. Grab some cables. Let's see. Do I have the right length HDMI somewhere? Yes. So I can give it a HDMI in and power. Oh, and network. Where'd my network go? There's the network. There's the power. We'll let it boot up and then see what we can do. ZowieBox is PoE. Oh yeah, that's right. It also supports PoE. Well, my PoE is not on that side of the rack. Maybe I should have thought about that. All my PoE is on that side, but not that side. Oops. Can you tell me what kind of USB-C cable do I need to use for my touchscreen monitor? No, I don't know. Did not come with one in the box. They usually come with one. Marson says, do cheaper wireless systems, Hollyland, allow signal reception through walls and ceilings, e.g. a camera in a room next to the mixer on another floor? Latency is not an issue. Yeah, usually. Depends on the material of the wall, but it'll dramatically reduce the range of it. So like if it says 300 feet range, if you're going through a wall, it'll be much less than 300 feet. But I've used it here between upstairs and downstairs, and through the outside walls of this room and things. It should work fine. Just, yeah, don't expect to get 300 feet through a wall. What is a great walkthrough video to start using the YoloBox Ultra, not a review video? I'm pretty sure I have one. If I don't, I really should make one. But let me check. I should have. I thought I did anyway. Have a totally thorough walkthrough of the YoloBox, not a review. Is it this one? Yeah, this is not really a review video. Here, I'll drop this link. YoloBox Ultra Complete Overview. It is 52 minutes long, and the chapters, it has timestamps for all the chapters. It goes through the graphics features, video playback, PDFs, picture-in-picture, green screen, NDI, scoreboards. This is actually, there's probably more features in it now because this is from a little while ago. This is from December 2023. So it's a year, almost exactly a year old. So there are some updates that they've done in firmware, but this is still a very good, thorough getting started guide. JHB says, can you plug in a non-PoE device into a PoE port? Yeah, totally. So the way PoE works is the devices have to, the PoE device like negotiates, like requests power. So it's not just like going to blast power onto devices that don't need it. Dylan has the ZowieBox. Oh, speaking of, it's booted up. The other nice thing about the ZowieBox, oh, it's not quite long enough. I didn't put a long enough power cord on it. It's just, just out of the frame. If I zoom out a little bit, it shows the IP address on the front, which is super handy. Otherwise, it takes a while to find the device on the network. 45.214. So let's see, is it just admin? It is. This is the ZowieBox getting the HDMI feed from my camera. Oh yeah, it supports PTZ cameras if you have that connected. I could connect it to the PTZ camera. Let's do that. Let's give it the PTZ camera instead, and then connect it to, let's see, where is that? PTZ. So what is that camera's IP address? Let's see, I think it's connected in Companion. This one, I should really give it a better address, static address. Oh, what's the port number? 52381, address 1. Let's see if that works. Does it work? No. No. Okay, there's the last time I did this, I had to also change. I think, let's try this. It was the address was wrong. Does this work? No. Maybe it needs to be UDP? Camera ID 1 is what let work with Companion. Shoot. I don't know why it's not letting me connect to PTZ. Let's try that. Nope. Oh well. Anyway, the rest of this stuff is interesting features. So we can do like, okay, so the input, we've got, we can see a signal there. We can use the encoder to encode H.264 or 265. Choose the resolution. It can do vertical resolutions also. And then, let's see, output. Oh, that's loop out. So it has an HDMI port also for loop out. Then all the streaming features. So it has an RTSP feed. It has, you can add RTMP or SRT so it can push out. It can record to a USB drive if I had one plugged in. Here's the NDI feature. Which format of NDI do you want to choose? That's cool. Let's see. We want to test the USB though. So where's my USB camera? And do I have a cable? Oh gosh. Let's see. It's USB A. I might have to dig around for a cable later. Let me look at the chat first. What's going on in the chat? Oh, Trevor, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the helpful videos. I appreciate it. Going to my Unify fund. Oh, Matt says, YoloBox Ultra released version 276. Put a screenshot in the Discord server. Oh yeah, thanks for that. That's great. That is, yeah, some good updates in that. They've been pushing out a lot of updates. The last batch has been really good. Cat cam while you search for a cable. What are the cats doing? I might be able to do that. Let's see. I have a feeling they're asleep. They are. I'll do a cheap cat cam, which is just pulling up the video feed on my just pulling up the video feed on my computer. Why can't I? Oh, there it is. Please enjoy the cats while I look for a cable. Oh, I should put music on. There we go. This should work. Although I do wish that USB cables were required to be labeled whether they're data or charging charging only or data, because there's no way to tell just looking at one. How sophisticated cats with a MacBook. Each cat has their own device. Yeah, that's true. Oh, did she hear me talking about her? Oh, she's so tired. She's so tired. Look at that, falling asleep. That's we got an electric blanket, and they've been thoroughly enjoying the electric blanket. It's not actually on right now, but they very much enjoy it. Yeah, a little napping, sleeping on the job. Sleeping cats are peaceful. It's true, they are. Okay, how quickly the new setup got lots of extra equipment on it. Yes, it's a little out of control. But hey, that's what we're here to do. We're here to test stuff, so that's what we're doing. Okay, so I got the OBSBot plugged in here. How do I get it connected to the ZowieBox? I haven't actually done this. Let's see. Let's unplug the HDMI. And how do I do this? Input, no HDMI. I thought it took USB in. Working mode, encoder. Oh, maybe I have to turn it to a decoder. I think that's what it is. As a decoder, then let's see. Decoding, local, add. No, not that. I remember doing this before. So that's going to take the NDI and put it onto the HDMI port. That's the wrong way. I've done this before. How did I do it? Well, this is not a good demo. I can't remember how to do it now. Decoding. Maybe it's not a decoder. Encoder. It's a cool little box. I just can't remember how to. Okay, streaming, local. No. Live. No. Record. No. NDI. Enable. Device name. Nope. That's so weird. I could have sworn. Does anybody remember how to do this? Who has one? Gwen says USB should definitely be labeled power or data. I label mine manually because I've been burned too many times grabbing the wrong one. I really should just label mine or just get rid of my non-data cables entirely. I tried the ZowieBox a while back and couldn't get it configured properly. Ended up getting one of the Link Pies instead, which is also a pain to configure, but figured it out. Yeah, that one is farther away in a box somewhere. I don't remember where it went. But yeah. I gave up and spent money on Thunderbolt cables because they work with everything, but totally agree. Yeah, I have too many cables anyway. I should just get rid of all the ones that are not useful. Linus Tech Tips is going to release USB cables with the data speed and power embossed on them. Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah. At least with the Thunderbolt ones, I think they are actually required to put the little Thunderbolt logo on it, so that helps. Matt says non-paid advertising for Aaron's membership. The access to the Discord server is well worth the cost of membership. Thanks for the support. Yes, if you're not a channel member yet, you consider becoming one, and you get access to the members only Discord, where we get to chat throughout the week about stuff. I've got any more retro AV equipment? Just the stack here, so I haven't got anything new in a couple of weeks. But the latest edition was this 8mm VCR, essentially. So it's like, it's a tape deck. Just takes 8mm tapes, high 8. And it just has very simple, like, play, pause, rewind, record on it. And I'm actually running one right now from it. There is, I'm monitoring it here on this screen, but it's dumping the last tape in this batch from my parents. I'm going to take some of these tapes back to free up some floor space in here. Because, oh my God, it's a disaster in here right now. I cannot even sufficiently describe how much of a disaster it is in here. Although I might be able to show you. You can't even really tell. Well, yeah, you can. This is what it looks like in here. I'm behind that curtain right now. There I am. And yeah, I've got a couch that just showed up. I've got a TV. There's nowhere to park bikes in here, so I have a bike and a scooter and a trailer and another trailer. This is the stack of VHS and 8mm tapes. It's just, it's a mess in here. One of these days, it'll get cleaner. Okay, question from Joseph. Software for Elgato Stream Deck Plus contains support for dials. Is it possible in Companion? Yes, it's kind of weird in Companion, but yeah, totally, actually. I was playing with it earlier. Yeah, I think I actually do have it connected right now. I was testing this out to see what I could do with the dials. Let me grab, let's see. Let's grab the PTZ shot of the Stream Deck Plus. Let it come into focus first. There it is. Maybe zoom out a little bit. So yeah, the dials, basically with the way that they work in Companion, it's kind of weird. But the way they work is once Companion detects the Stream Deck Plus, then let's see, what page is that? I think it's page 96. Yeah. So the dials show up as like buttons here. So if you look at if you compare the, oh my God, I lost the button. There it is. If you think of this as a 4x4 surface, so there's one row, second row, third row, and fourth row. So the fourth row, obviously there's no display on these, and the third row, there's no button. Oh, I guess there is a button. It's touchscreen after all. Okay, so it is, oh, weird. So interesting. So I can actually tap that. Great. So this isn't really any different than this row, except just the way it looks physically. So go back into Companion, think of it as a 4x4 surface. So I can only use these buttons, but this is the dial. So if right now it doesn't have any actions, but if I go create a button and check the rotary actions box, now I can add actions for rotate left, rotate right, and you can press it So you can also have your own press and release actions. So rotate left. The obvious thing is to do it for like some sort of volume control, right? Or I can make it, maybe I can make it control the super source. Change maybe offset box properties. So I could make it, let's see, I think I can make this work. Can I make it crop left -1? What box is doing? Super source box 1. Is that gonna work? Let's try moving it. It'll be more obvious. Yeah. So I can move it over to that way. I need to be able to move it back. So let me make another button here that you can't see, but I'll make it +1. And now I have a dial. Oh, did that wrong. I need to make it a turn right action. You'll see what I did in a second as soon as I get this back on the screen. So now I can move it back. So I have a left action, which is going to move it -1x. 1 is actually too big. I forgot this is like fractions. I should probably do 0.1. And then when I rotate right, I can go back and move it 0.1 to the right. Now I can do fine adjustments like that. Look at that. That's super handy, actually. So yeah, so anything that you can, so these buttons or these dials, now this will do that action. It'll do whatever is configured in Companion for the left and right actions. I should probably actually make a page for this because I do often want to change my super source layout slightly, and this would be actually really useful. How about PTZ focus on the dial? Sure, yeah. If there's a PTZ command for that, let's try this one. I'll make a button with rotary actions, and then left. We should have focus commands. Focus. Let's see. Yeah, focus near, and then far. Let's see if that works. I do have mine set to autofocus right now, though, so I'm not sure if this is actually going to work. Yeah, it's not actually doing it, probably because the camera is in autofocus mode. So let's press, add a press, which will change it to focus mode, to manual focus. So I can press it, put it into manual focus, and yeah, now it's working. So now as I twist this, it's going to go change the focus, and I can dial in. There it is. Oh, too far. Oh, no, that's not what I want. I forgot. It's not a adjust by 1. It's a command that tells it to just start moving the focus until something tells it to stop. That's kind of annoying. Is there a... Weird, yeah, there's no command to just do an incremental, like, change the focus by a little bit. So it's meant to be, like, hold down a button to adjust the focus. Oh, well. Are there variables for the XY positions you could display the number above the dial? Yeah, there are. Delay 250 milliseconds, then stop. We could do it that way. Yeah, that's a good point. So I could add a focus stop command after, let's say, 100 milliseconds. Can I duplicate across? Yes, I can. So now every time I turn the knob, it will delay for 100 milliseconds and then stop. So I should, at least in theory, be able to now use the knob like I expected. Let's get it back into somewhat The wrong way. Oh, I put it back into autofocus. Can't tell which direction it's supposed to go. Maybe I need a maybe I need a autofocus. One push autofocus. Just do that once. There we go. Okay. No, this still isn't working. Oh, wait. I guess it is. It's not exactly right. It's kind of hard to see it working. No, it's not doing what I want. Oh well. That was the autofocus. Okay, let me take a look at the questions here. Pierre says, do you have any idea of a device RFID to change setup through Stream Deck and BitFocus camera setup light set for multi-users, like a studio where you get multi-users during live? Well, the new Stream Deck has that exact feature if you use the buttons software, not companion. Where is it? So that is an actual feature built into this one. So I still need to do an actual video about this, but the there's a little NFC reader here, and Companion can actually read the value that you swipe on it, so you can kind of do stuff with Companion for it. But if you use their actual software, the buttons software, they have proper support for essentially user modes. So let's see, these little things have NFC in them. So as I tap that one, you can see that number changed to the ID of this one, which is different from the ID of this one with the YoloBox on it. Is it different? Did I not encode that one? Let's try the little sticker. Yeah. What's the question here? Communication Stream Deck Plus with RØDECaster video. Sure, yeah, you could. So the RODECaster video just added support for Companion, and so now you could create buttons with the Stream Deck Plus for the RODECaster video now too. William says, I tried a YoloBox Pro about a year ago, but found that it would skip frames constantly. Has it gotten better? Also, have you tried the AVCan's wireless NDI cameras? So they're actually sending me one of the little wireless cameras and the PTZ controller, so I'll be able to try that out soon. I have no idea when they're going to arrive, but they were not at the post office when I went there on Friday, so no idea. But yeah, hopefully I'll get to try those soon. The YoloBox Pro is not the same. It's a less powerful CPU than the YoloBox Ultra, and I will say the YoloBox Ultra is definitely performs a lot better than the Pro. So if you load it up with too many angles, you can still get to skip frames, but generally if you keep it to a reasonable number, it'll be pretty solid. But I did have that problem with the Pro. Jasper says, I'm trying to connect my iPad for days, but unsuccessful. If I'm using USB-C to HDMI, then I assume that means YoloBox doesn't recognize my iPad. Any suggestions? A USB-C to HDMI adapter on the iPad should work with the YoloBox. I'm pretty sure I've tried that exact combo. Why would it? What else can you try? No, it should just work. I don't know. Technobuzz says, I did manage to get the ZowieBox working with a webcam, but it needed the latest firmware to be stable. Am I out of date on my firmware with the ZowieBox? That is possible. Let's see. Oh, they don't have a cloud updater. So let's see. ZowieBox firmware 10210. Let's see if I'm out of date. How do I get the firmware? Oh, I am out of date. I don't have the UVC to HDMI feature. Great. So let's download that. ZowieBox. Where is your firmware? Come on. There it is. Download. Firmware. Oh, that's pretty recent. 10248. Great. I'm way out of date. Let's do that. Daniels has just Googled the Canon PTZs. You weren't kidding. They're expensive. Yes. What are you doing? Says just picked up a Clarity M on sale. Just hooked up yesterday. Any tips? I'm playing with the settings using your stream for the audio. I haven't actually finished hooking mine up on this new set. I really should do that. It's actually mounted back there right now. It's tucked back there, but I haven't finished connecting it, so I don't remember. It mostly just like there wasn't much to it. It's just a couple different modes it has, but there wasn't much to it. Oh yeah, I saw they also have an SDI version now. That is, maybe I should get one and leave it permanently connected in here. Oh, still downloading. Baruch says, in your opinion, what is the best way besides constantly muting and unmuting mics to avoid echo for a hybrid event with Zoom and in-person speakers? Any gear or software solution? Your best bet is to mute and unmute. But if you can't do that because it's actually like a conversation back and forth, then basically you need to make sure that your speaker placement and your mic placement are not causing feedback. And then you can also use different mics. So the mics that are like the ones that you have to eat to have work are going to pick up only sound that's more close. So it'll be less likely to cause feedback. If you're using like other microphones, then it'll pick up more of the room and then you'll get feedback. But yeah, basically mic placement and speaker placement. So if you can, I'm trying to think of like placing. So generally for like live event, you would put the speakers in front of the people so that the sound goes away from them, not back to them. But if they need to hear the Zoom participants, if they can't hear it with the speakers pointing away, then you might need a different solution. One other way to handle it is amplify, have the speakers having only the remote guests pointing towards the people in the room, but don't point the mic. Don't point. This doesn't make any sense. If I have a microphone here and a speaker here with the remote people, you're going to send that remote audio back into the microphone, right? So instead, if you flip it around where the person's standing over here using the microphone and the speaker's pointing at them, then if it's a directional microphone, it'll be not picking up as much sound behind the mic. But that's why the microphone type is so important, because you want to get the microphones that are only going to pick up from one direction, not from the back. And then that'll reject more of the sound that way. Yeah, directional mics close to the mouth. Close to the mouth is the key for whatever it is. Headset mics can work too. Let Your Nerd Be Heard says, any suggestions for HDMI video matrix that has at least 16 in and 16 out? Would love something bigger if they made it too. So I have over on the stack of gear that is still waiting for me to go through and do videos about from Ore. They sent me a couple of their HDMI matrices. They're relatively small though. One is a 2 in, 4 out, and the other is a 4 to 4. They have slightly bigger ones. What I have found is as soon as you want to go up to like 16 in HDMI land, it just gets ridiculously expensive. And in my opinion, at that point, you're better off going to SDI. The HDMI ones, I tried one a long time ago. I was not happy with it. The other problem with HDMI is that the connection has to negotiate. So every time you're switching a matrix, it's like unplugging the cable and plugging it back in. So the device has to renegotiate the signal. So it negotiates the frame rate and resolution and all that. So it takes a second to sync up after you change it. It's not like a Atem switcher where it's like instantly cutting between camera angles. SDI does also have to take a second to sync up, but it's not negotiating the frame rate. So it's actually super fast. It'll take like a frame or two. Depends on the device, but generally SDI, the SDI video hub that I have, let's see, can I demo that somehow? I should be able to. Let's see, what can I can show you the glitch that you'll see. Do I have something I can switch it to? I guess I could route it back through the Atem. That'd be weird, but it'll work. So, I have the 3D printer. And I have the tape that I'm converting. Sure. So if I, yeah, okay. So what I'll do is I will put the tape that I'm converting on the screen back there. So, or the video hub output on the screen back there so you can see it, which should be that. So that's playing from the VHS. And now I'm going to use the SDI matrix to switch to the 3D printer camera. Did you see that black frame? It was like 100 milliseconds, 200 milliseconds. That was not a seamless switch. Unlike now going with the Atem, changing which on that TV, I can change it instantly to the map. And the TV didn't see an interrupted signal ever. It was the same signal all the way through. So HDMI is going to be like that, but way worse, way worse. So in my opinion, you're way better off switching to SDI as soon as you need 16, because that's a lot. Blackmagic does have a clean switch version of the video hub. So it's discontinued now. It's gone from the site, but they did have it. But yeah, at that point, like, I think it's because their bigger switchers are essentially video hubs now because they have so many aux outputs on the new constellations. TestSmart makes a 16x16 that supports 4K 30 for under $1,500. Okay, that is a very good price for that. But you'll still have the problem of a very long delay between switching. But that's a good price. That is more affordable than the ones I found before. Michael says, I have a 10VO USB PTZ 20X camera. Would the ZowieBox be a good option to convert it over to HDMI NDI kitchen sink? Yeah, probably. It really only has USB out, no other outputs. Because you're going to end up with a delay from that. Let me see. The download finished, so let's grab it. Do I have to unzip it first? Can never tell. Yes. I'm guessing I upload the zip file. Okay, so it's upgrading now. This will probably take a minute. Is it going, or do I have to click upgrade? That is not clear. There we go. Okay, confirm. Well, I'll let that go for a little while. HDMI is like that, but way worse. Applies to many situations. Yes, it is true. Marcus says, well, would you recommend using a cam link to get a fifth HDMI port on the RØDECaster video? How bad would latency be? Better to use only for PowerPoint? Yeah, totally. I've done that before. It does work fine. The latency, I can't remember off the top of my head now how much latency it added, but it did. I think it did add some that was noticeable. So yeah, best to use it for only things where the delay doesn't matter. It's not going to be like terrible, but it won't be in sync with the other cameras. So PowerPoint, yeah, screen shares, a super wide shot where you can't see people's lips. Those would all be fine ways to handle that. Smart video hubs got replaced with new video hubs, but they're not gone. No, the clean switch is gone. So if you go over to the video hub here, the video hub models, this one is this one didn't make the cut for the new one. So the new ones are black. You have a 120, 80, 40, 20, and a 10. But they did not upgrade. They did not make a clean switch version of the new line for some reason. Not sure why. Probably because you can effectively use a constellation. If you go to a constellation, let's see how many outputs it gives you. Constellation 2ME HD gives you 12 outputs. So you could use this as a, oh my God, I forgot how many this has. 20 to 12 matrix, which is pretty good. TVJ says, I love the clean switch model. We use it for a backup master control setup at my station. How does the ZowieBox compare with the Magewell Pro Convert? The ZowieBox is a little Linux computer. I think actually the Magewell Pro Convert is too. But the ZowieBox is like a Swiss Army knife. Like it can do everything. It can be a decoder and an encoder. It has all these different ways it can work. The Magewell devices are like purpose built. So there's a decoder, there's an encoder, they're separate devices, and they can't do they can't switch between modes. So so if I show you the admin for the Magewell Pro Convert decoder, I think the Pro Converts also have slightly fewer formats. So this is the decoder SDI out, so I can pull feeds from RTSP, SRT, a lot of different things actually. But this is the decoder. So this one is always going to output something on its SDI port. There's a separate box, which is an encoder, which will only ever use the HDMI or SDI as an input. The ZowieBox, on the other hand, you can switch it between different modes. So, and the web interface is just more complicated. Like it's harder to find things in here, in my opinion. Let's see how this works now. So now I'm on 102.48. I should have UVC support now. I might need to turn it into, this is what I mean. This feature lets you put it into either mode. Decoding. Ah, there it is. So it's called a decoder in order to get the UVC feature. So it found the OBS-bot. I can turn that on, and now it is decoding that feed. Let's see. Can I turn it into HD? I can. Oh, and it has different, it can pull different video formats from the camera. Let's see, can I get better frame rates than that? Let's try 30. So theoretically, now this is grabbing the OBS-bot feed and outputting it over the HDMI port. So let's swap that around to the output. And oh dear, that's not good. Okay, we're gonna have to play with that. Let me put it on that screen. Let's see. I guess I'll put it over there. Atem 2. So the 2 gets the patch panel. So that's what it looks like right now, which is not good. We might need to play around with the different resolution options. Let's drop it down to 720 to see if it makes it show up with the right aspect ratio. Nope. Let's try not MJPEG. Can it pull H264 stream? Weird. I don't know why it's all squishy. Yeah. Might have to try a different webcam. Whoa, what's going on in the chat? Oh my gosh. IT never gets old says, I use both the ZowieBox and the Pro Converter. The Pro Converter is super reliable. Like I have one running for years and it gets used each day. ZowieBox is cheaper and more flexible. That's a fair comparison, yes. I would agree. The Pro Converts are like, they're rock solid. They do exactly what they say they're going to do and they don't break. The ZowieBox, it's a lot cheaper. The UI is definitely worse. There are more weird glitches like we just saw the squishy image. But it can do more things, theoretically. Roland says, what was the difference between the clean switch and the current video hubs? So the clean switch feature refers to, it works more like a Atem switcher. So the non-clean switch matrices, which is most matrices, are much more similar to actually unplugging a cable and plugging it back in internally. With an Atem, you might notice that like if you have no cameras connected into your Atem Mini, but you have a monitor connected, even if it's showing just like a black screen, the monitor is getting a video signal. It's just getting a black video signal. So then as soon as you plug in a video source into the Atem, it will take that image and output it over on the output, but it's like resyncing, it's like copying the image, not like unplugging the cable. So when you switch between cameras, you're not unplugging the cable from input 1 to input 2. It's like copying the image and it can change over instantly. So the end result is when I switch on what's on that screen back there, this is going through the Atem. That TV is powered, is getting an output from my Atem, so I can go and change it to the I can change it to a different camera, and I actually have Stream Deck buttons for this too. I can put my computer screen on there, I can put my logo, I can put the map, and the TV, as far as the TV is concerned, it's the same video signal all the way through. Whereas if I take the matrix and change it with the matrix, it will lose the video signal when the switchover happens. The clean switch is great when you don't need keyers or MEs. Yeah, I mean, video matrices do have plenty of advantages over an Atem for certain things too. Audio routing working the way you expect it being the big one. Have I ever used AES67 audio over IP? I have not done. I have not, no. What's the best way to convert NDI to SDI or HDMI? Go stream duet. Is that are you preceding the answer? NDI to SDI or HDMI. So there are the Magewell Pro Convert decoder is it's rock solid. That's the one that I was just showing the web interface of a second ago. So this is the web interface, and it's finding NDI sources on my network. Oh, I found the ZowieBox on the network, and this is a good way to do it. It's not a cheap way, but it's good. It works well. It's not going to have Yeah, it's a solid option. It's not cheap. The GoStream Duet can take an NDI input and output it over HDMI, and that's much cheaper. I guess it's not much cheaper. It's like slightly more than half the cost, so it's cheaper. There are some other cheaper ones like the ZowieBox. Let's see if we can do that in the ZowieBox. It's already configured as a decoder, so I can tell it to decode NDI. This is the PTZ camera. And if I do that, this should work. Oh, this is also stretched. So something's wrong with the HDMI output. Maybe if I just unplug it and plug it back in, it'll negotiate correctly. Nope. Something's wrong with the HDMI output, not the webcam. That's interesting. It's an example of just weird stuff with the ZowieBox. When it works, it's fine, but it's a little glitchy sometimes. Oh, you're going into the GoStream Duet. So you want to take an NDI camera, convert to HDMI, and then go into the GoStream, rather than pulling the NDI stream into the GoStream directly. Yeah, I mean, the Magewell device is solid. Ah, you're trying to send full NDI, not supported by the Duet. Yes, that. I'm pretty sure the Magewell supports full NDI. Now I'm questioning that. I found that the ZowieBox goes real glitchy after a firmware update. A factory reset usually sorts it out. Great. Okay, I'll do that. Is there a way to do it? Yes, I can do it from the web interface. Okay. Winston, thank you for the super chat. Ooh. What's the best solution for 4K ISO recording? You're not going to like it, and it's going to cost you a lot more than $5. The best solution is going to be buying a stack of HyperDecks. So if you get this one, the $700 one is the cheapest way you can do it. This one here. Essentially what you do is you take your 4K camera, you plug it into the HyperDeck, and then you take the output of the HyperDeck and plug it into your switcher. So if you need live switching. So $700 per camera, basically, is the answer. It's a good little box. It has HDMI and SDI inputs. One of the cool things that you can do with this, if you want 4K ISO recording, you can take a 4K camera into this, and then the output of this, it can actually downscale it. If you use the monitor output instead of the SDI or HDMI, you can actually tell it to downscale to 1080, so you can send a 1080 downscaled version of your 4K feeds into a 1080 switcher for doing live streaming, but then you can keep your 4K ISO recordings. So that's going to be the best way to do it. You did not say cheapest. You asked for the best. And yes, Matt is reminding us about the YoloBox Extreme. So YoloLive did finally put this webpage up. I will reserve judgment until I have tested it myself. However, they teased this at IBC, and it's now available for pre-order, theoretically. It is called the YoloBox Extreme. It has 8 inputs. They claim this can do 4K. Well, 4 of the inputs can be 4K, not 8. But you get 4 4K ISO recording channels, or 6 1080 channels. So 4K 30, 4 4K recorded on the device. That is what they claim. I have not tested it. I do not know if it... my guess is that it will be okay. I would not expect it to give you flawless recordings like the HyperDecks will. I will just say that. I have a reserved judgment. Now I want to hear Aaron's judgment. Well, I mean, I don't have it. I don't have any judgment until I've played with it. But the but my experience is that the YoloBox will you will end up with some frame drops here and there the more stuff you add to it, which is honestly like not that big of a deal in most cases. But if you want best flawless recording, HyperDecks are the way to go. Matt would agree. IT Never Gets Old says that's a ton of inputs for an Android tablet to handle. Yes, it is. Winston says, thanks. I was afraid that was the only solution. I currently have one, so 3 more HyperDecks to go. Yes. They are worth it. They are good little boxes. Okay, a couple other questions. Oh yeah, for ISO recording, you can go to HyperDeck. Yeah, just answered. Yes. Fly Ride. Oh my god, we've already been streaming for 50 minutes. Fly Ride just watched the whole YoloBox Ultra video. Welcome back. thanks for watching. Thanks a lot. Yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Okay, Media Expert says, greetings from Senegal. Is it possible to use the NDI input of the GoStream as a CG source, like using vMix or NewBlue as NDI source? Sure, yeah. Once the NDI feed's in the GoStream, it works like any other camera angle, so you can do chroma keying or luma keying. It doesn't support the alpha channel. Something just added support for the alpha channel. What was it? Oh shoot, there's too many announcements. What was it? Somebody just added support. Was it the GoStream? I don't think it was. If it is, then that's fantastic. But I thought it was but I can't remember what else it was. Anyway, chroma keying, luma keying, picture in picture. Like you can use it just any other the way you would bring in any other wired camera. So you could definitely use it for that. Oh my gosh, it's already 90 minutes. Stephanie says, vertical live streaming gear. Is there an alternative to the YoloLive InStream? Why is Blackmagic not working on an upgrade? Why are all the switchers geared towards horizontal use? I think because there are fewer people who need the capabilities of multi-camera switchers for vertical streams. A lot of vertical content is fine with a single camera, phone camera, and it is rare that you need the production quality of a multi-camera device. That said, there are some devices that support vertical streaming. There's definitely software that does it, so you can do it with OBS, vMix, I think Ecamm. I haven't actually tried it in Ecamm, but the YoloBox Ultra also supports. It basically has the in-stream mode built into it, so it works the same way where you can launch the Instagram app and stuff. There's also there is they actually sent this over, and I haven't done a proper test of it yet. I think it's this one. No, it's somewhere else. It's in another box. Anyway, it's a switcher from this company, Cinetreek. They have a vertical switcher. Where did it go? Well, they had one. I should really do a video on this. They had one. Don't know where it went. The other one that can do it is the Magewell Director Mini, which I think I showed in a video that on my channel. I think I showed vertical mode for that. Maybe I don't have a vertical demo. Anyway, I have a lot of other videos about the Director Mini on my channel. So that is another option. Oh my gosh. Okay, now all the questions are coming in. GHST. Hi, could you recommend a device to mix 2 screens with the alpha channel? Alpha channel. Oh, I don't know. No, this is I haven't experimented with any high frame rate stuff really. And I don't know Fuser or Daikin. Sorry. Oh, the tape just finished. What portable small monitor with HDMI input can you recommend for the RØDECaster video? Oh, I do have a recommendation for this. My favorite monitor for this is, where did it go? This one. This is a really good size. 10-inch size. It is, I'll drop the link in the chat. They have a SDI version, or a combo, HDMI and SDI. I think they have an HDMI version also that might be a little bit cheaper than the one with both. But here is the link for the monitor. It's in the chat. I like this a lot. It's just a really good size for the RØDECaster. It's about the same size. So it works well with the Atem and anything in this form factor, basically Atem's GoStream. So I like it. I like it a lot. What is the largest capacity SD card you used in your HyperDeck? I tend to not keep big SD cards in them. This one's 128. I just pulled out. I think I've used a 256. The problem is that they're actually really picky about SD cards. So are there even any larger than 128 supported? So definitely for HyperDecks, absolutely go to the Blackmagic site, go to the support section, go to disk recorders, and search down here for HyperDeck for whatever model you have. Studio HD Mini, so that's my small one. This one, and they have a list of SD cards that are supported. There is one 512 that's supported, 2 512s are supported. Oh, there might be some more if you go to the other HyperDeck because the other one does 4K. HyperDeck, Shuttle Studio HD Plus. Okay, that's the one. That's the one that does the 4K. SD cards. So they have 256s. Yeah, there's only, again, just 2 512s. I think I have one of these 256s that are supported, but I can't remember which one. Probably Pro Grade. Emerald says I'm running 512 V90 Angelbird in the Studio HD Pro and Shuttle. That's on the list. HyperDecks are picky about everything, but if you once you get it set up, then it is solid. What do I do for offsite backup of my data? So I used to have 2 locations, home and the studio, and this was my offsite backup. But now that I'm just here, I only have offsite backups of like the my computer files. I don't have offsite backups of all of my video data, but I use Backblaze for it. So I think it's actually, yeah, this computer has now a big enough internal drive. It's a 2 terabyte drive on this Mac Mini, and Backblaze is running on this machine. So whatever is in my synced folders across my other computers goes into this computer, and this goes up to Backblaze. But I don't have offsite backups of my YouTube videos, other than YouTube itself, I guess. So. Let Your Nerd Be Heard says, thanks for the video on the event replay with the media player and video wall controller. Just got mine working. Oh, cool. That's awesome. B West says, not sure if appropriate question, but do you use any KVM switches? And if so, do you have any recommendations? I don't currently. I bought one a while ago that I haven't finished setting up in the closet because the closet's just really crowded right now, just for my servers. But for my day-to-day computers, I do not. Closest thing to KVM switch that I have is I have on that desk over on the other side of the room, I have my big 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. I have it plugged into a dock. The dock has the monitor and the webcam and the speakers and all plugged into that dock, and I have the single Thunderbolt cable. So my KVM is I take the Thunderbolt cable plugged into the Mac Mini or plugged into a laptop. But yeah. Oh, we were talking about vertical switchers. You can also rotate the Atem 90 degrees to do vertical. That was a coordinated April Fool's campaign between a few of us. We all published videos about how you can take an Atem Mini and turn it on its side and do vertical streaming, all on April 1st. And we made a lot of people very mad. But Blackmagic saw it and they got a kick out of it. Okay, we're running out of time here. TVJ, what is my next big studio upgrade? I don't have any major plans for inside the studio right now. Everything here is working pretty well. The major upgrade to this space will be not studio gear, but getting all the non-studio stuff out of here. This pile of tapes, my bike trailer, the bicycle, the TV that I just got for the house, the couch that I just got for the house, all the light switches that I need to finish installing. Getting this cleaned up will be nice. The other studio upgrade will be building a shed next door, a shed to the shed. This was a garage, and I'm going to build a little shed next door, which will be about slightly smaller than this space by a few feet in both directions. But that's going to also take some of the stuff out of here. And then the video upgrade that'll be happening soon is the fiber link to the house outside and actually getting that wired up, and then Lily's studio, moving that into her office. But yeah, not a lot of, don't have a lot of plans right now because I've got things set up pretty well. We'll see. We will see. I've been buying a lot of non-studio stuff lately, a lot. Unify gear, camera, security cameras, light switches, so many Lutron Cassetta switches. Seriously, like, I cannot believe how much money I spent on switches. So yeah, been doing a lot of non-video stuff recently. If you are curious, we're a little bit behind, but we have more videos coming out soon about the whole project of building the house. I'll drop that link to that channel, totally separate channel. But you can go through that catalog if you're curious about this whole project of building the house behind me. And we have 2 update videos coming out soon. Hopefully at least one before the end of the year. Okay. We should wrap this up. Oh yeah, Gwen, thanks for the question. New Year's Eve stream plans. Also like and subscribe. Thanks for the reminder. Yes, New Year's Eve. I am planning on doing a stream on New Year's Eve, which is Tuesday night. Lily's stream is normally Tuesday nights, so we're going to somehow do something together. It could be... I will probably try to go for a long time. Maybe... I don't know exactly. I don't think I have enough time to coordinate like the same kind of bring on 8 remote guests like I did last year, although I would love to, but I just don't quite have enough time to plan that this year. But I will do something on Tuesday, so stay tuned. Maybe it will be live streaming with every device that I have on here, and doing a bunch of live streams within live streams of testing out all the different gears, like actually doing a stream with a RØDECaster video, doing one with the Magewell, doing one with the YoloBox, etc., etc. That could be fun. It might be a good way to handle it. So yeah, how much did I spend on Ubiquity gear this time? I just spent like $3,000 on network switches and cameras, and I've got more to buy still. So, but it's coming out of the construction fund, so it's fine. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. I've got somewhere to go to, and I've got a TV to hang on the wall, so I'm gonna try to do that before I have to leave. And that's at least one box out of here. Okay, thanks everybody for joining. Thank you for the questions. Thanks to the channel members, the extreme supporters, Larry and Marcin, and thanks to all of the other channel members as well. Again, if you are not yet a member of the channel, you can join below and then go to the members tab and find a link to the members only Discord, and that's where we can hang out throughout the week and chat and post. I will post photos of this TV as soon as I hang it up on the wall, and yeah, other gear that I am testing, and also a great way to get notified of the live streams because the bot posts there automatically. Otherwise, we will see you all next week for the last stream of the year, which is scary, but that is just what happens, I guess. Yeah, have a good week, everyone, and have a good New Year's if you don't make it to the next week's stream. And don't forget to give this a thumbs up. Oh, we have somebody from Austria who just joined. You just joined right at the end. Bad timing, but thanks for joining. You can watch the replay. If you are watching the replay, the chat won't be available for a couple hours. YouTube takes a little bit of time to process that, but otherwise the chat will be there afterwards. Thanks everybody, and see you all again next week. Bye.